When BTS's Kim Taehyung, known to the world as V, uploaded his latest series of photos to Instagram, time seemed to pause for a moment. Within minutes, his post was flooded with millions of likes and comments from fans around the world. Yet beyond the numbers, what truly captured attention was the quiet beauty of each image, a kind of visual poetry that only Taehyung seems to master so effortlessly. In the photos, he doesn't perform or pose in exaggerated ways. There are no flashy colors, no dramatic captions, just him surrounded by soft light and silence. But somehow that silence speaks louder than words. In a softly lit room with gray carpet and sunlight streaming through rectangular windows, Taehyung stands still, as if the world around him has slowed down. The light falls gently on his skin, wrapping him in a calm radiance that feels almost cinematic. He wears a brown leather jacket with Celine Paris emblazoned across the back, a piece that feels both strong and soft, like a meeting point between Parisian sophistication and Korean warmth. His trousers, subtly patterned, add texture to the frame. There's a quiet confidence in his posture, a stillness that draws your gaze and makes you linger. Nothing is forced, and yet everything feels intentional. The natural light becomes its own character here. It paints him with gentle shadows, highlighting contours and textures as if the photograph were a painting. The interplay between light and fabric, between skin and shadow, creates a story of intimacy, between the artist and his surroundings, between humanity and stillness. Then the tone shifts. Taehyung steps outside into the afternoon sun, walking among green leaves glowing in golden light. His outfit, muted browns, creams, and olive, blends perfectly with the earth tones of nature. A breeze lifts his hair slightly, giving the moment a soft, unguarded feeling. He looks peaceful, as if he's taking a quiet walk through his own thoughts. It's the kind of beauty that feels personal, like catching a glimpse of someone lost in their own calm world. The colors here are gentle. No bright saturation, no artificial glow. Just warm light, soft shadows, and a touch of melancholy in his eyes. It's as though he's savoring solitude, finding joy in silence. Every detail, his steps, the curve of his smile, the way the leaves frame his face, feels like a whisper rather than a shout. In another frame, he walks down a sidewalk with a brown leather bag slung casually over his shoulder. His hair is slightly tousled, and the low camera angle makes the scene feel like a moment from a film. The background blurs just enough to draw focus to him, each stride confident but unpretentious. There's a natural rhythm to it, a kind of grace that doesn't try to impress but simply exists. Then there's a quiet indoor shot. Taehyung sitting by a large window, light streaming in softly, a gray carpet beneath him. The simplicity of the scene feels sacred. His head is slightly bowed, his expression calm and reflective. It's a portrait of someone entirely at ease with himself. The texture of the light, the softness of the shadows, and the gentle curve of his posture make it look like a modern Renaissance painting. Emotion captured in stillness. But perhaps the most striking image of all is the black and white portrait. In this frame, Taehyung's gaze is direct, steady, and full of quiet power. Without color, his expression feels timeless. The interplay of light and shadow sharpens the emotion. Strong yet tender, mysterious yet honest. It's as if we're seeing him stripped of everything but truth. The monochrome palette gives depth to his emotion, turning simplicity into strength. There's no need for elaborate sets or props. The power lies in his stillness. In that single look, Taehyung communicates something deeper than words, a glimpse into his quiet confidence, his artistry, his humanity. Even in a shot focused solely on fashion, the artistry remains. The camera zooms in on the back of his leather jacket, the Celine Paris letters gleaming softly in the light. You can almost feel the texture of the material, the craftsmanship in every fold. It's not just fashion, it's storytelling through texture and tone. And then comes the final image. Taehyung looks into the camera with a faint, almost invisible smile. It's small, but it carries warmth, like sunlight peeking through clouds. There's sincerity in his expression, as if the smile isn't meant for the audience, but for someone behind the lens. It's the kind of moment that feels personal, like a secret shared between friends. That tiny smile becomes the emotional peak of the entire series, a quiet exhale after all the calm intensity. Through every frame, the photos stay consistent in tone. soft grays, beiges, browns, and whites. The color palette is muted, yet elegant. The natural light is never harsh. It's gentle, human, and warm. It's in this restraint that Taehyung's artistry shines. He doesn't chase grandeur. He creates meaning through simplicity. The recurring gray carpet becomes symbolic, a middle ground between black and white, glamour and reality. It mirrors Taehyung himself, an artist who exists gracefully between worlds. The global superstar and the quiet observer. In each photo, he reminds us that beauty doesn't need to be loud. It can live in silence, in soft light, in stillness. When the photos were released, social media erupted. Hashtags like #THV and #Taehyung quickly dominated trends worldwide. Fashion magazines praised the collection as an example of effortless luxury. A form of elegance that doesn't scream for attention but draws you in gently, with depth and feeling. Because what Taehyung shows isn't perfection, it's presence. He doesn't pose to impress. He simply exists, allowing his quiet aura to speak for itself. Each photo feels alive, every gaze feels sincere, and every shadow holds emotion. In this series, Kim Taehyung isn't just a K-pop icon. He's a visual storyteller, a poet who speaks through light, fashion, and silence. He turns ordinary spaces into canvases, and fleeting moments into art. When the last image fades, what lingers isn't just admiration. It's warmth, peace, and a quiet understanding that true beauty doesn't need to be explained. It only needs to be felt.